Hey everybody, this is Ryan Smith. You're watching Secret Chord. In this video, I'm gonna give you my top 5 tips for writing lyrics. We're going to start with number 5. What you don't say is just as important as what you do say. Leaving out details, leaving out information or parts of the story can be engaging to the listener and cause them to use their imagination to fill in the blanks. It's a lot like a visual artist using negative space in a painting or in a photograph. Let's take a look at an example here. Now, if you were writing about a wedding that had happened the night before, you could just simply say, there was a wedding last night, and there'd be nothing wrong with that. But without saying that, you could give other details that would let the listener come to that conclusion. So here's an example of some lines that would say that same thing without saying it directly. There's still confetti everywhere. My shoes are sticking to the floor. There's rice on each and every stair from the night before. So that was a way to conjure up the imagery that a wedding had already occurred and this was what was happening the next day. And that might be more interesting than just saying flat out that there was a wedding the night before. Let's move on to number 4. For effect, don't rhyme a line. Now this is only applicable if your song does rhyme and has some kind of rhyme scheme. But by upsetting that rhyme scheme, by changing the expectation, it can make a line more important or accented, okay? Let's take a look at an example of that. So here would be 3 lines that rhyme followed by one that does not. The time has come to seize the day. We stand together in every way, united by what we have to say, but I still feel so lost. That last line, but I still feel so lost, is like putting an exclamation point on that line by stepping outside of the rhyme scheme. You expected that to rhyme with day, way, or say, but it didn't. Number 3. Place stretch rhymes first. So first of all, what is a stretch rhyme? A stretch rhyme is a rhyme that you really have to dig for. It can be because you've got a line that is so challenging to rhyme with that you have to get extra creative, and sometimes those lines can sound kind of silly, okay? Now if you put the line that is the stretch first, it seems like you're now rhyming with that line. It's less silly, less absurd, and it sounds more clever. Let's take a look at an example of that. Here are 2 lines with the stretch rhyme second, okay? Sometimes rhymes can be so difficult, so my songwriting comes to a grinding halt. Now, difficult is a challenging word to rhyme with, so grinding halt, that felt like a little bit of a stretch. Now let's flip those lines around and we'll just slightly tweak them for a much more natural flow. My songwriting comes to a grinding halt because some rhymes can be so difficult. That is much better. It feels like difficult was rhyming with grinding halt, okay? Moving to number 2, don't be too general. Show, don't tell. A lot of songwriters make the mistake of wanting to write something that's so universal that everybody can relate to it, and they do it by writing very general lines that don't end up resonating with anybody very directly. So, for example, if you said in a song, I feel so much pain, people would understand that and they know what it's like to feel pain, but they may not have any direct connection with what you're saying. Now, on the other hand, if you said, the old rusty nail dug deep into my finger and twisted around until I was lying on the ground, screaming for it to end. Most people won't know what it's like to actually have a rusty nail going into their finger, but they can relate to that idea of pain, and that imagery will be something that they can relate to even if it's never actually happened to them. Another way to avoid being too general is to answer the 5 W's and H: who, what, why, where, when, and how. That does not work if your song is more abstract, but if it's a story, that should help you fill in more specifics. And finally, tip number 1, analyze the songs you love for their lyrics. Notice about songs that resonate with you how the writer is using the lyrics. Are they telling a linear story? Is there a beginning, a middle, and end? Or are they painting vivid pictures and images with tone and words? Are they just combining abstract ideas to create something that is transcending a literal story? Are the lyrics esoteric? Are they down to earth? Are they conversational? These are the kinds of things that you want to notice. You don't have to try to emulate anyone else's lyric writing, but it just helps you be informed as a songwriter as far as what works for you. So there you go. Those were my top 5 lyric tips. Now, I hope this video was helpful. Subscribe to Secret Chord. Hit that bell for notifications so you can get more videos like this. And until next time, my friends, adios.